I don't want to rotate. I gotta do it this way? What? Uh, what just happened?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I gotta go back. So if you start the phone upright, then want to change it, you can't. So you gotta stay at horizontal or vertical. Nobody's on here to even hear me. So I gotta change the plans here. Just gonna use that other thing. What's up, Kimberly? Haven't seen you in a while. This is different. I'm vertical. I can hear you. Good. So yeah, put my little hand on this little rubbery hickey thing. Let me figure this out for a second here. Oh, good old back. So it never fails me. It's always failing me. Let's see. Get a couple people on. See if I can rant. Oh, look at that. There we go. I might be not able to use the buttons as well. The hands there. Ah, lordy, lordy, lordy. The rain's coming, it looks like. Still have a fish tank? One fish tank or something? James! What's up, buddy? You done with school? Like, totally done with school. Or you're on break again? In school again. Oh. 3 people on. Alright, Howie. Showtime. Showtime. Oh. My back. 246 bows. Nice. Keep the bow fronts. They quit making them. No more bow fronts. No more corner tanks. James, there's nothing wrong with that. I guess if you can afford to keep going to school. There's no, it's both 36 bows. Or there's no 35 bow. Unless it's custom. Yeah. This school thing. Well, that's some good news. Yesterday, day before. Thursday, had to go to school. Billings. Oh. Well, there's 2 different brand ones. The Marineland used to be Perfecto. Marineland and then Aquian. Green Raspberry, the Kabotos? No. Those are really nice. I have green neons, but no Kabotos. I've had them. Those are actually a really cool little microfish. And I won't be getting in anytime really soon due to tanks are full. So, and right now it's kind of slow season, depending on the weather. Feels like something's on my eye. Oh, I don't know. But Dylan's getting some scholarships and awards Thursday evening. So, yay. So, I feel like something's on my... I didn't sleep well. Allergies started yesterday. So, now, back problems and... Mike. Oh, shit. No power. Is it storming by you? You're down south. It looks like it's getting dark here. There's a little drizzle. I hope I have no power outage. Oh, that's all I don't need. That means I have to break out the generators, whatever, if it's long term. And I'm whooped. I had a sore throat all night. So, yeah, not fun. And usually these allergies, 2-3 weeks. 3 weeks pushing it. Sometimes they're like gone in 2 weeks. I'm allergic to certain pollen. And I think it's those little fuzzy, looks like caterpillar things, whatever. I think it's that, whatever that is. No, we have some F1. I think they're red line, James, which I just marked a tank. I need to get my trio out of there. There's a few left. They're really unique. I've never had them. They're like, they got lines. A different type of buffalo head. They're maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. I'll try to look at the tank, but they're hiding in the Pleco cop caves, and people don't probably realize they're even in the tank. All right, good question, Mike. How long can fish last or go without aeration? That will depend on the types of fish, kinds of fish, how many fish, how big the fish is, meaning the bioload. So even if they're small fish and it's a heavily stocked tank, well, they're going to use a lot more oxygenation quicker. If it's large fish, obviously they're going to use up the oxygen much quicker, and then the byproduct ammonia is going to could spike because of the waste. So small fish do not produce a lot of waste. A lot of fish added up, but the thing is, do not feed. And if you have live plants, that's going to help. And the darkness, some fish they'll be a little less active, so they're going to use less air. I mean, a few hours, a day, depending on what it is. You start hitting 8-12 hours, then I would be prepared no matter what. But 8-12 hours, I don't think you should have a problem with most tanks, especially community type fish. Then start looking at backup, battery pumps, those UV, those pumps. Cobalt and Pemplex has them now. They're USB chargeable with a backpack battery. I need to get more of those. I think we have some, or go to like a bait shop. You might have them with they use the big D batteries, whatever. And then, or the worst case scenario is you take water out and pour it back in the tank like every hour, or small water changes like 1%, or just pour water in and out, and that's going to agitate the surface of the water. That's where you get your gas exchange, so the oxygenation's there. So temperature, you might not have to worry. At least it's kind of warm. You can cover the tank with a blanket, whatever, insulate it that way. And then, if you need to save your freezer and everything else, a backup generator of some sort is ideal. All right, sorry, let me go back to mothballs. No, I don't know if they're still legal or not. They were banned coming into the country. Unless somebody already has them. They come from Asia generally, and there was zebra mussel babies, eggs or whatever. Something was they caught, obviously the feds checking stuff, inspections or something happened, and there was invasive stuff within the mothballs, which put them on the ban list. So I don't know. Get motivated, James. Come on up. Nice. The plants help. They'll keep less stress, oxygen in the tank. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a couple posts. Somebody had them recently, and I thought that was odd. So they could have just had them and decided to sell them personally, but I don't know. They screeched all imports, so they were like, that was like a big no-no because they don't want that stuff to get into the our ecosystem, natural waters, and have another invasive species of. We already have zebra mussels in Lake Erie, and that's not from us. That was from ship ballast. So I was talking Tuesday. There's Thursday was the hearing in Florida. They're wanting to pretty much ban any imports of almost everything into Florida, which would just halt the industry in huge ways because Florida is probably the main hub for imports, exports of livestock, wild like birds, parakeets, whatever, reptile farms, bird breeders, fish farms, agriculture, aquaculture, all that stuff is huge, like an $800 million business just for fish. So there would be no more like, they bring in stuff and sell, or they bring in stuff for breeding, stock, wild caught stuff. So all that would halt. And they would do a white list and a black list. A white list, what they could have, and I can't be quoted numbers, but there's like 10,000 things. I mean, there's millions of tetras and all kinds of stuff. There'd be like 200 things that the whole entire industry in Florida could get. Yeah. So the problem is, okay, if your grandfather clause on what you have, yeah, some stuff you can breed for years and years and years and years, but there's going to be a time, not everything lives forever, so you can't replace it. Once it's gone for good. Or deformities, interbreeding so much will eventually take its toll on the animal, the fish, or whatever it is. So the quality of what's reproduced will decline over time. And it all depends on what it is. Some stuff has been bred for 50 years, and you just got to call the bad ones from the good ones. But yeah, that's a big ripple effect. People weren't here on my show on Tuesday. It goes beyond just the fish farmers and importers and transshippers, whatever. I mean, a bulk of stuff in the United States. PetSmart, Petco, PetSmart Plus, the three biggest players in the country, have contracts with a couple big outfits to supply them with all their livestock. Goodbye. So you'd have, one tetra, maybe tiger. Your selection went from like massive to like this big, and yeah, you would get bored, and then you got to worry about the black market it would cause for stuff illegally being bred or shipped or sold or whatever, imported, whatever. I don't know. Florida has a ton of restrictions already. That's their reason behind it, is invasive species, which Florida has had a problem for years and years and years. And a lot of times they want to blame the pet trade, and it's not the pet trade. If there's hurricanes, some farms get flooded, and then these cichlids or whatever it is gets into the river system or the canals or whatever, and they can live, especially in southern parts of Florida where they can survive the temperament there. Nothing here can survive tropical. I used to be an animal control officer, worked with Division of Wildlife and ODNR and all that stuff. So they still use me once in a while, call me if they come across something, non-native, tropical or whatever, and seek my input or what it is, identify it, and some background on it, whatever. Because a lot of these guys, knocking people with college degrees, but I deal with people at zoos and aquariums, and they're book smart, but that's about it. They don't. it's amazing how many never kept a ton of stuff. Aquarium, they had like one tank, a 10 gallon or whatever. It's like, and you went into marine biology and pathology and zoology and all this stuff, and you didn't even. I mean, it's great that you're interested in animals, but you didn't even keep the stuff. Majority of your life, where you got a college degree, it's like I'm not tooting my horn, but I think I know more than most. I don't know technical. I'm not a chemist. Biology. I started talking about organs and all the other stuff, and that might the technical terms. I probably would be lost on some things, but it's crazy. I've had conversations. They're like, "You still have fish tanks? You're in the business? What are you? Something wrong with you?" Like, well, yeah, that's what I've been doing all my life. As a kid, you had fish, you had turtles, you had rabbits, dogs, cats, snakes, iguanas. I wanted everything. I dealt with bears, tigers, and all kinds of shit. I hand-raised baby foxes, and then I dealt with wildlife, raptors, and all kinds of stuff. Oh shit! See, that could be a problem, and that's a big, that's a no-no. A lot of times, over the years, many years I've been in this, 32 years next month. The pacu, which resembles a piranha, is notorious for being dumped. I wish they quit selling those. I don't like the idea of banning things in general. I like my guns and stuff, but that's the Constitution. But red-tailed cats, pacus, clown knives, alligator gars, some of this stuff really should not, chain stores, the one big warehouse over there by my house, sell this stuff. And people buy it. They tell them, "Oh, it'll be great in your 55-gallon tank." Yeah, in 6 months, it went from like this cute little thing to about that big, and it can't turn around no more. And next thing you know, it's like, "Oh, I can't afford to get a 305,000-gallon tank or build a pond. Somebody want this thing? $500." They try selling some of this shit. And it's like, you're nuts. You're not going to get nothing. You're going to have to eat it. The zoo won't take it. The public aquariums won't take it. OFR, whatever, probably won't take it. Most of the time, you just cannot handle the amount of that stuff coming through. Oscars, you can get away with. Oh, easy. You get 3 feet. And about that thick. 6-inch wide, easy. Pacus get... It doesn't matter the size tank. You put it in the toilet bowl, it would outgrow the toilet. It'd be 12 inches in 3 months in a toilet bowl. They're stupid, and they're kind of destructive. And that fish, the red-tailed cats, same thing. They're awesome, beautiful animals, awesome fish, but they just get massive and they eat. So these things sometimes will out-eat a human. So. And that's same with like the Burmese python, alligators. Never was into that stuff. I sold one alligator, my first pet shop, and one came in, and the alligator went to a friend of mine, and I told him, I said, "You're not bringing it back in 3 years, 10 years. You better be ready, to keep this thing, when it's big, whatever." And they came and went to a regular customer. He wanted it. That thing was a piss. Mean little shit, and they don't get big, but they're just a-holes. So I never sold Burmese or anacondas. I sold, the biggest snake would be the red-tailed boas I sold, but mostly ball pythons and green tree snakes and stuff like that, corn snakes, rat snakes, manageable stuff that someone can keep, and they're not overly hard to take care of and feed. So, but so that's the reason why they want to ban stuff, because they got a problem. But the flip side, Florida's made millions, if not $100 million, and game fishing in Florida. Um, Peacock bass, which I've been wanting to do for years. I go down there and I always talk about it, but I need to just devote the time. I know Scales, Sam, did a bunch of that recently and took some videos. I want to go collecting and fishing in southern Florida, go catch peacock bass. Hey, Mike. So it's brought a huge sum of money to the state of Florida in game fishing, because you don't have to go to all the way to South America to catch some of these exotic fish. So, and some are good eating. I'm not a big fish eater, so and like I told some customers, I've said this multiple times, the fish industry I always thought was going to be the safest pet. My first job was at a pet land when I was 15. So I knew the dog thing, the puppy mill thing, even reptiles were getting some bad raps for a while. All that stuff, and and I thought fish, they don't look at fish as like a dog, a cat, a horse, or whatever, or something too much. It's in a tank and not going to cause a problem. And I always thought, man, I was looking at the future that fish will be the safest pet hobby of the future. That's won't get under the bad eye, a black eye. But good old the cable news or cable with Animal Planet and the snakeheads. The northern snakehead, the Asian guy had a pair of them. Either he got them as for food, because they sell them in the Asian markets. They sell all kinds of crazy shit you don't realize. I have Korean cousins and my woman's Chinese, so they love like seafood and weird stuff. My Korean cousins, they eat fish eyes right out of the can. I mean, some crazy shit. Eat shark. They don't eat dog. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's a lot of countries. What we think and what other people think in their native lands is opposite. But the snakehead gave us the black eye. They overblown it. That pair he dumped off in a pond end up breeding like rabbits. They can have thousands and thousands of fry, and they're ferocious, and they're damn good parents. They're like convicts on steroids. And they were trying to say, and I remember watching it, they sensualize it, make the Godzilla fish, the monster fish that's eating all the wildlife, native fish, and eating the birds and whatever, which they will. Anything to get a hold of. TED Talk with Dave. And they're trying to say that they can live out of water. I've dealt with them. I never carried them to sell. I don't think I ever brought them in to sell, not even trade in. But I, being in an industry, had them in stores, whatever, sold them. And I never once taken a trade in back in the greenhouse days, long time ago, 88, 89, whatever. And this girl, it couldn't even turn around in the biggest tank we had. It was a monster, and it was strong as shit. And it ate more than it was worth, and she took it back like a month, 2 months later. And it got loose and went down the gravel floor in the greenhouse, and I'm the one wrestling like an alligator. I'm wrestling this dang on snakehead. It was all over the place. It was strong as hell. But they're ferocious, aggressive, very hardy, but they're trying to say they crossed the land, got in the Potomac River or whatever. I don't believe that, personally. I got an idea. Somebody was fishing, caught a bunch of them. A kid caught them, had them in his bucket, walked over drove over, and was like, I ain't taking these home. I'm like freaking, and dumped them into the river. And next thing you know, they worked their way down and grow and breed and more and more and more. So, and then put a black eye. That was the start of the black eye in our industry. That was the beginning of the nut jobs. I don't believe in PETA. I think they're pretty much terrorists. A lot of people have good intentions going into some things, organizations, but then you have ones that are just extreme and not educated, don't realize they're right, you're wrong, whatever, attitudes. And I've seen some crazy shit in my days, especially when I was an animal control officer. I had to go take a certification I was an ex-FBI guy, and I seen some film things that was just gang stuff, dog fighting, cockfighting, a lady shooting a horse for meat. Some of the craziest thing you wouldn't think people would do, especially if you're an animal lover. It's like, that was the hard part being my job, euthanizing animals um, and seeing some nasty stuff. Just cat lady, guy lady with 100 cats, cats eating the cats. They don't even have a pot to piss in. Just gross. But that's not the norm. I mean, that's where, like, some cities actually there's a limit on pets. They want to do shit like that, and it's like, well, you can't lump everybody because you have one or two bad apples. That and some of these elderly people just, they're God's creatures. They love them and they do anything for them, and they're actually doing more harm than good, and they don't realize it. I've seen it, and it was sad. I see an old lady cry, and too many animals, too many pets, and they're sick, and she's doing everything she can, using all her Social Security money, to buy them food or whatever, treats, and spoil them to death, and not realizing it went way too far. So, so keep your eyes open on you see that, sign that petition. They have a hold on it, or whatever the term was, that it's got to stay right now. So it's still pending. There's probably going to be, excuse me, there's probably going to be some, we have two kind of lobbyist groups in industry, Hijack and the other one, World Pet Association, I think, WPA. They're obviously showed up. Sandy from the Seagrass, which is owned by Central Pet, the biggest conglomerate. So some of the big wigs and farms, and I seen a couple store owners. Doogie from Wet Spot from Oregon was there in a picture. So because going back to the ripple effect, it's going to affect the supply companies that supply all these bags, the boxes, heat packs, ice packs, oxygen tanks. I mean, it's bigger than just the fish, the breeding, the farms, and all that stuff. You got all the suppliers that supply the farms, the delivery companies, the airlines got to make 100 million a year. Southwest, which I'm glad I'm not getting fish because the pilots are on strike. So Southwest is probably the number one airline of shipping, especially fish out of Florida, livestock. Then Delta, which is horrible, and United is same. Southwest, I've had my issues, especially the last few years, COVID, all this crap and problems and messed up flights and delays, but they're still the best. Now, so they, back in the day, if I remember right, the mid 90s when I was down there, I think it was 35,000 boxes of fish came out of Florida a day. It was like the second biggest business next to like Disney. And it was, back in the day, it was huge before Asia jumped into the exporting and shipping fish, and they breed shit like on roids, like stuff like nobody's business. And obviously on the cheap side compared to here. Their costs are significantly low. Their restrictions are much lower. They get away with stuff much easier than us in this country. So that was a game changer. But that's a lot. So, and then outside the state would be all the stores, all the retailers that rely on getting livestock, fish, reptiles, whatever, I don't know, feeders, plants. It's the mecca. Asia exports might increase. Why would we want to do that? Why? You're hurting our own country. You lose, I think they said it would lose like 100,000 jobs in Florida if they would pass this. 100,000 right off the bat. That's a lot of unemployment. So, and I guess DeSantis was signing off, was on with it, but hopefully I don't want to. You never. I not getting into politics, but you jump on some of these guys, some of these people, some politicians, and they don't know everything. They're relying on their circle, inner circle, advising them, telling them, educating them. I can't see them delving every issue of everything. So they get the cover sheet, and it makes sense. Okay, I'm for that, or I'm against that. So that's where you get a stay on this legislation, and you come back with data and values and losses and everything else, and they see the bigger picture, and then if they have common sense beyond the college degree and say, oh, did not realize that would be the proper way of like addressing it. Like, okay, let's take a little longer, and what else can we do to make Florida better and stop the invasive species. And I think there's less of that. I think any farms that are left, there's not many that more, they have to build like a mute or a canal around the farms. I think they're like 6-8 feet deep. There's like a banked, and then it's banked up high. So if there is a hurricane, there's flooding of some sort, and their ponds, whatever, things overflow, they get caught in the surrounding property and don't end up in native waters and causing any issues. So there's a lot of safeguards in place now, and I think people are definitely more educated. Now you might have some idiot. There's always going to be idiots. And idiots are breeding. That are just going to do shit on purpose, or whatever, or too dumb, don't care, and release something, whatever it is. But I'm sure it's far and few. So deal with what they have is the best case scenario. Let me see if I can switch this. I got the little hand on this thing. I'm vertical instead of horizontal. All right, let's look around. I've been bringing over gravel from the other building, hatcheries, and we're just putting some substrate in tanks. Makes it a little cleaner. Don't see as much poop. That's on a timer. Water lettuce is not taking too well. I'm gonna have to get some of that out. It needs sunlight. That's a shame. Lots of plants. Blue-eyed Pinette needs a home. Give this beautiful beast a home. I call him Frank Sinatra. Angels like nobody's business. We got veils, we got blacks, assorted, large veils. The rose lines are like feed me. Assorted small angels, some Severums. We got some baby Severums. A Rio Alamar, Rio Gia Vegas Labiatus. Really cool. Don't see that stuff hardly anymore. Peacocks looking fabulous. Red dragons, and Lawanda. I always like the Lawanda. Rotania. Uh-oh. Got a male in with these two females. I got another female at the other building I can bring over. One red empress left, it looks like. A couple Madoka white lips still left. These red tiger Severums. Look at the detail. They're absolutely gorgeous. I was about to get rid of the little ones over there. Now I'm leaving them. You just gotta be patient for some of this stuff. Beautiful male Venistus. Some medium Mori eyes. Oh, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that fish. Leopardnops intermedius, but it's a different name now. Trimitochromis, I think. Some Xerox. We got babies of these guys. Strigatus. Oh, there's more peacocks. Sunshines, red shoulder regals. Then the small stuff. Babies of most of the big stuff we have in. Oh, these are the Philibornis, Labotropheus M-cats, or marmalade cats they call them. Christiais, Champcromis trouts, Venistus, bunch of hap stuff. That beast. Small Venistus. Rhodesii, don't see those hardly. It's a nice electric blue. Mabuna, catfish. Victorians, mediums, all these males. It's getting close. I gotta get going. I love the bulls and eyes. There's a male in there right back there with the bump on the head. Ha! Love it. They're so funny. Funny looking. Got one arrow left. That dude needs a home. That's one that gets big. But you can manage that in a, the right size built tank or 300 gallon. Shrimp, crabs, super red, bushy nose, like 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches. Black neons, regular neons, green neons. Colombian tetras are great. Those ruby barbs are great. There's white clouds, more tetras, baby sabrums, cherry barbs are great. Santa Claus or koi swordtails, doing awesome. Some red-tailed sharks, marinays, glow barbs, and then tiger barbs, tetras, green swords. We got rainbows over there, different types. Look at that. I gotta take me a pair of these bushy nose. Gotta try to make sure I get a male, female. The Zaire group of Fertosa with the big ones out. Right there, he's kind of dark. He rolls a roost. There's 7 of them. They need a home. Have some fantails and goldfish, comets. So the pond season's probably in. I need to get koi. Lots of Tanganyikans. Oh, James. You can't see. They're in these red line buffalo heads or F1s. There's one on the filter. I need a. They're hiding really well. There's one back there. I gotta at least get a pair. I was trying to take a trio. These are those guys I brought in. The wild Stigmas. Oh, the Bloom Gold and Cygnus males. Beautiful. Victorian males. Lots of small peacocks. Oh, we got one tigerfish left. That needs a big tank. That's a tank buster eventually. So some people, that's why I don't like banning everything, because some people can afford or have the ability to build or own and house and maintain some of these big stuff. Oh, we got a young male Shy Goddess in there. Lots of young peacocks, lots of baby peacocks. Tanganyikans, there's the trophies over there, got the longis there, lots of comps, shell dwellers, julies, rocking and stocking. Everybody acts like they're hungry, like me. Get the turtle's light on. Our side neck, look like an alien. Tank's doing well. I don't know, we got like 3 discus left. There's 2 and one's over there by that wood. I brought in some more wood. I know we're getting low on some things. So I'm going to end up getting another order. Puff Daddy. Oh, wake up, dude. Hey, buddy, what up? 15, 16 bucks, I think, James. I have to go back and look. I'll hold, if you're coming, tell me, because I don't think there's many left. I won't take it. I definitely want a pair. If you get a pair, it'd be great. Breed them because they're not a common species. So, oh, I brought over lots more like the Malaysian wood, small and mediums, a bunch of that. Oh yeah. So I don't have no more big pieces. That's a nice piece. So tons of tank kits. Got it. Need it. Should want it. Best deal on the 32 flex of anybody, even internet. So get a kid started in the hobby, or you want one in the living room or the kitchen or the office, waiting room of your business. Great setups, clean looking, and everything's built in. The lighting's awesome. So we got specials going on. The tidal filters are 20% off. Uh-oh. Something went wrong. Am I still on? Tap. Says I'm live still. Something's. Did this thing touch something? So sorry. All right, I'm gonna get done. We're pretty stocked. Somebody took almost all the cichlids in. I'm getting ready to order more. I wasn't planning on doing another dry good order, and they screwed me on my frozen food. The distributors, I'm not a fan of anymore. They're just I don't get it. They're not very great with customer service is lacking. All right, let me take this off in case something. Hello, why is that? I don't know. Something happened. I don't know. All right, I gotta get going. I gotta get rolling here, maintenance stuff and everything done. So, it says tap retry. I'm on Wi-Fi. What the heck happened? Technology just aggravating. Tap to retry. All message visible. I don't know what happened. So I'm sorry. We're open 11 to 5 today. Monday and Friday, 1 till 6. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 11 to 5. Closed Tuesday, Sunday, and Thursdays by appointment. You have to call ahead of time. At between 1 and 5 is appointments. Half hour increments, $50 minimum. Any questions, just give us a call. All right, I'm out. Goodbye, guys.